The Amber Room is important to Prussian society now because of its significance to the Prussian culture, being one of their main masterpieces lost during the war and is still missing today. The Prussians even thought the Amber Room should be considered the eighth wonder of the world. Although there is now a replica of the room, the value and authenticity of the original of this missing masterpiece makes it more significant to Prussian culture and the importance to continue looking for it. If found, the Amber Room should be returned to Catherine Palace, which is its original home before the war.
This is the Amber Room, a beautiful work of art created for Peter the Great in 1717.
It was created by Andreas Schluter, a German sculptor working in Russia with the help of a Danish amber craftsman, Gottfried Wolfram. Andreas Schluter was born in Hamburg, Germany, to his father Gerhard Schluter, who was also a sculptor.
Amber is fossilized tree sap that is mined by digging tunnels and collecting deposits. The amber is polished and turned into beautiful stone resembling a gem.
The construction of the Amber Room was completed by a team of people key to its development. Andreas Schluter and Gottfried Wolfram designed and worked on the Amber Room until 1707, when amber masters Gottfried Thurau and Ernest Schacht took over to complete the construction of the room.
The Amber Room was so sought after by the Nazis because of its German sculptor Andreas Schluter and the overall beauty of the room. The Russians considered it the eighth wonder of the world.
The Amber Room was installed at the Berlin City Palace by King Frederick I, then given as a gift to Peter the Great, who installed the Amber Room in his winter house in St. Petersburg. It was then moved to Catherine Palace in Kaliningrad by Tsarina Elizabeth. During World War II, the Nazis looted Catherine Palace and took it to Königsberg for display.
Frederick I was the King of Prussia. He was very respected and did many good things for Prussia by establishing schools and hospitals, replacing mandatory military service with an annual tax, and settled East Prussia. He was considered the founder of Prussia.
Peter the Great was Tsar of Russia and an avid admirer of the Amber Room when he made his visits to Prussia. Frederick decided to give the Amber Room to him to establish the alliance between Prussia and Russia against Sweden.
The Amber Room was brought to Russia in 18 large boxes handled with extreme care.
The Amber Room was installed in Peter the Great's winter house, where it was introduced to the European art collection. Tsarina Elizabeth ordered the movement of the Amber Room to the Catherine Palace in Pushkin, named Tsarskoye Selo, or Tsar's Village.
Bartolomeo Francesco Rastrelli, an Italian designer, redesigned the room to fit its larger space. He ordered the shipment of additional amber from Berlin to add to the room.
The room covered 180 square feet and had 6 tons of amber backed with gold leaf and other precious stones. At the time, historians estimate the room was worth $142 million in today's dollars. The room was used in many ways. Tsarina Elizabeth used it as a private meditation chamber. Catherine the Great used it as a gathering room, and Alexander II used it as a trophy room.
The Amber Room was in the Soviet Union in Catherine Palace at the time of World War II. The war started in 1939 when Nazi powers began invading neighboring countries to expand their control of the world.
Nazis were looting and collecting art that were up to the Nazi standards of German art throughout their campaign. The Nazi interest came from Hitler's definition of German art, one of the qualifiers being artwork made by Germans belonged to Germans. Since Andreas Schluter was from Germany, Hitler wanted the room for his own collection.
On June 22, 1941, Hitler launched the invasion of the Soviet Union by ordering 3 million German soldiers to cross the border.
The curators tried to disassemble the Amber Room in preparation of the Nazi invasion, but couldn't move the room due to it crumbling, so they had to resort to covering the room with wallpaper to conceal their treasured room.
The Soviets' attempt to hide the room didn't work. Nazis disassembled the room in 27 hours and packed it into crates to be moved to Kogsenberg, Germany, present-day Kaliningrad. It was installed in Kogsenberg Castle Museum on the Baltic coast.
Alfred Rode, an amber aficionado, studied the Amber Room's panel history for the time it was on display for the next 2 years. He was in charge of relocating the room when Allies were invading to protect the room from bombings.
Destruction in Pushkin was devastating from the Allied invasion, and the whereabouts of the Amber Room was lost at this point in time. Alfred Rode had failed in keeping the room safe.
The Nazis tried to escape with the Amber Room, and the whereabouts are currently unknown to this day. There are many theories to the disappearance of the room, but they're still not sure.
The most prevalent theory is that the Amber Room was destroyed by Allied bombs in Catherine's palace.
Others believe that the room was loaded onto a boat or submarine that was destroyed when Nazis tried to escape with it. Some think the remains of the Amber Room are at the bottom of the Baltic Sea.
Norman Scott, leader of global explorations, was searching for Nazi gold at Lake Toplitz, and they discovered 27 crates, which is significant because the Amber Room was packed into 27 crates to be moved out of Catherine's palace. The lake was used by Nazis to test bombs during the war, and towards the end of the war they used it to hide evidence of their illegal actions like looting.
Another theory is that the Russians accidentally destroyed the Amber Room because it was supposedly moved from Catherine Palace to Königsberg Castle and the Knights Hall by Nazis and then attacked by Russians who burned down Knights Hall. Russia is rumored to have covered up this story because they didn't want to be blamed for destroying one of Russia's treasures.
There are some theories that the Amber Room is cursed. Many people who were connected to the room died of different causes, one of which was Alfred Rode, who was the curator at Königsberg Museum, which housed the Amber Room. His wife also died of typhus while investigating the room.
General Gusev, a Russian intelligence officer, died in a car crash shortly after talking to a journalist about the Amber Room, which causes speculation about someone's involvement in hiding the location of the Amber Room.
George Stein, an Amber Room hunter and former German soldier, was murdered in the Bavarian forest after searching for a missing Amber Room in 1987.
Today, there is a replica in the Catherine Palace, which is also called Tsarskoye Selo State Museum Reserve outside of St. Petersburg.
Reconstruction began in 1979 and took 25 years to complete. The cost of the restoration process was $11 million. The restored Amber Room was dedicated to Russian President Vladimir Putin.
The Prussian masterpiece was lost during World War II, and the recovery of the Amber Room is important to society and Prussian culture.
Russia would be in possession of the Amber Room if found because Prussia was its original home and it is now considered Russian.
The Catherine Palace houses the current restored Amber Room, which is indication that the original room should be returned to the palace if found.
We should not settle for only having the replica. The Amber Room was the original that was crafted by Andreas Schluter for Frederick the Great, making it significant to history and culture.